Well, if you are new to First Church today, we do want to extend a warm welcome to you. We've been looking over the last month at the issue of worship and what worship is all about. And basically, you've been hearing about the three stages of worship. And if you haven't had a chance to listen to all the messages, we encourage you to pick up some CDs or maybe even pick up the whole set, that they might be an encouragement to you in the months ahead in regards to worship. But basically, when we talk about worship, we're talking about three stages. And one is that there is a holy expectancy, that there's a holy expectation that takes place. In other words, maybe some of you have already practiced that this morning. When you were getting ready to go to church, you were saying to yourself, wow, I wonder what God's going to speak to me today. I wonder what word God has for me today. I wonder if it's going to be through the message, or if it's going to be in a prayer, or maybe a song that we sing. God, what is it you want to impress on my heart today? That's a holy expectancy. And then there's the holy encounter. The holy encounter is that moment that we share collectively in God's presence. When God shows up. But it doesn't stop with the encounter. The third stage of worship is the holy extension of worship. And that holy extension is what it makes the difference between going to a ball game and enjoying baseball every day or whatever the sport. So, now that you've been here for a few weeks and you've been hearing the messages on worship, today is the test. So take out your pencils. I'm just kidding. You don't have to take out pencils, but there is a test. It's just 2 questions, though, and here's how I want this to work. You don't have to call out your answer. You don't have to raise your hand or anything. You're going to answer the questions in one of 2 ways. You will either have a picture in your mind, or you will answer it with a string of words, maybe in one sentence, okay? That's how this works. Here's my first question on the test. Where does worship happen? Get a picture. Answer it in a sentence. Where does worship happen? Do you have a picture? Do you have a sentence? Okay. Second question. What does worship look like? What does worship look like? You got a picture? Or an answer? Okay, good. My hunch is that if we were to compare all those pictures on a board, we would see different pictures, would we not? Yeah. You may know the story. An old farmer went into the big city one weekend to get some supplies. And while he was in the big city, he decided to go to the big church in the city. And when he got home, his wife said, well, how was it? And he said, well, I got to go to that big church. And she said, well, how was that? I've never been to a big church. And the farmer said, well, it was good. They did something a little different there, though. Instead of singing hymns, they sang praise choruses. And she said, well, what are those? And he said, well, they're okay. They're sort of like hymns, only they're different. And she said, well, what's the difference? And he said, well, let me put it to you like this. If I were to say to you, Martha, the cows are in the corn, well, that would be a hymn. But, on the other hand, if I were to say to you, Martha, 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 oh, Martha, 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 the cows, the big cows, the brown cows, the black cows, the white cows, the black and white cows, oh, the black and white cows, the cows, the cows, the cows are in the corn, in the corn, in the corn, the corn, the corn, the corn.